How you doing, everyone? It's Kevin. I'm back with another video. A company reached out to me and wanted me to try out one of their little pole saws. Now, I know the deer season's on its way, and we're going to need to clean out some shooting lanes, and I thought maybe, just maybe, this would be the tool for the job. It's light, it's small. Hey, let's get it unboxed. Let's show you what it looks like. Let's see if we can get it up and run it and give it a good review. Looks like it's packed very well. Owner's manual. Make sure you go over your owner's manual and read it well. Understand it before you get started. I only give you the basics on this video. Tiny little thing. We're going to give it a try. So you got your saw. You get a battery. Looks like the oiler. Charger for the battery. You get a tool for your chain and the chain, so we're going to be putting this on, and then your pole. What else we got? Oh, they even give you a little file. You even get a file to sharpen it with, so you guys that get them in the dirt, you're going to need this. Alright, let's get rid of this stuff and get her put together. Okay, so here laying on the table is everything you're going to get with your saw. We got the saw. Tiny, tiny little saw. Very, very light. Let's see what it feels like with the... It's still very, very light. Get your battery. You get a charger. They give you a file to sharpen your blade. They give you a chain tool. They give you an extra blade and an oiler. This does not have an automatic oiler on it, so you're going to be oiling it yourself. We're going to show you how all this works as we go. Then you get your pole. This is an extension pole. So there is your extension pole, pretty long. It feels like it sucks itself in too. So. Okay, the first thing I want to do is get this battery charged up so we got a good full charge when we go to do the review on this. If you notice on the back of your battery, it has an indicator that tells you how many bars are on there. It looks like it has 3 bars, maybe 3 bars on it. We're going to go ahead and plug it in and charge it anyhow. We want a full charge. This is where you plug your battery in, right here on the top. Get your battery charger. Unravel your cord, go ahead and plug it in here, and let's plug it into the wall and get it charged. Okay, our battery is fully charged and ready to go. We're going to give it a try this morning. We got a tree we want to prune up, so I thought it would be a good test. And I wanted to show you how to hook this to your saw. Pretty simple. Just push your little lever there, slide it on, let go, and it's attached to your saw. Now, when you want to attach it to the pole saw, you're basically going to do the same thing. You're going to take this piece, the head, and go ahead over to your pole saw. Basically, all you have to do is snap it on there onto your pole saw. So when you want to take it off of your saw, all you want to do is push this down and slide it back off. But it also has a lock on it right here. You can twist this lock and that will lock it on so it cannot come off. Even if you push this, it will not come off of there. And then you can attach your battery down here to this side the exact same way you attached it to your saw on the top. And then you can use this trigger. You push this button, pull that trigger, and you're cutting. So we're going to take this guy out back, check out the tree, and we're going to get to pruning. So now before you get started, you want to put some oil on your chain because guess what? This one doesn't have an oiler. So I'm just going to put just a little bit on this bar, and then we're going to pull the trigger. So now we have some good oil on there, and that's just going to drain down in there as we're cutting. But periodically you want to make sure you put a little bit of oil on your chain. What I wanted to show you guys, if you'll bring that head of that saw over here, Brandon. What I wanted to show you guys is this head. If you push these two buttons, you can twist this head and you can cut straight down. And a lot of you guys have used pole saws. You used them and they were straight out, like so. And if you're cutting a limb that's up, it's way up in the air, and you're cutting straight like this, it will pinch the blade. So what we want to do is we want to tilt the saw so it's cutting down on the limb and not down on the side of the limb to where it can pinch the saw. So that is a cool feature on this. I really do like that. He's going to get up there and he's going to try to get this limb cut, and we're going to do our best to get it on video. So we just checked out our chain and it's pretty loose on here. So when you get ready to do this, you want to make sure you have your battery out of your machine. Don't leave the battery in when you tighten this blade. And I think this blade, you're just going to pull it with your fingers out a little bit and go ahead and tighten it back up. Okay, we should be good there. He said it feels a little bit heavy, but if you had a gas-powered one, it would really be heavy. That's actually pretty light compared to what a gas-powered one was. So he got the couple limbs that he wanted cut off the tree. What do you think, Brandon, so far?
It's not bad. I mean, them were maybe a size of, maybe a little less big around as a quarter.
Yeah,
you know?
So right around a quarter size, cut fairly decent. Got some of the eyesore limbs off that tree.
Yeah.
So we're going to go out back, and he's got a peach tree he needs trimmed up.
And it's got bigger limbs on it too.
Yeah, it's got a lot bigger limbs. So we're going to give it a try on that. This is just a review video to see how it works. And I'll tell you what I really would like, wanted this saw for, and that's them shooting lanes.
Yeah.
When you're going deer hunting and you put up your tree stand and you need to clean out a shooting lane, this thing here, you can use it by hand with just a little saw, or you could use it with the pole saw. For those high spots where that tree stand is, I think that's going to work out really nice.
I'll tell you what, I got a few little limbs over here that are low on the ground.
They're bigger?
Well, the mower, whenever I mow grass, they hit me.
You want to do some of them?
We can do the hand one and see how it works.
All right, let's do the hand then. We're going to do the hand saw for just now. We're going to try it out.
Yeah.
So, okay, let me show them how to unlock this thing. So what we want to do on the back here to unlock it is we want to twist that little guy over like so. And then we're going to pull with our thumb down on this one and then pull the saw off. You hold that for me. Now the back one where the battery goes, we're going to push down on that lever and pull the battery out. To get it back on our saw, all we have to do is slide it in and it'll snap. Just like so. And we're ready to go. Okay, we have got this whole bottom of this tree trimmed up and it's still running, but I noticed the saw blade is loose again. So that's something that looks like we're going to have to periodically check to make sure that it stays tight. There's no tension like a screw on a chainsaw to hold that thing out. So you just basically got to loosen your bolts and tighten it up. Now, what was your complaint on this thing so far?
So when you're using this, I don't really know about with the saw, the extension pole, but I know this handheld, when I stick my hand up here to hit the button, I can't get the button so small that it's hard for me to hit it to pull the trigger, because
Okay.
it's so close to this here.
So it needs to be out a little bit
Yeah,
more.
if it was out like here, see where my finger is?
Yeah.
You know, you just push it and then pull the trigger. But right now I'm reaching up here and trying to bend my finger back.
Okay.
You see how far up
so
the
it's a
button
little
is?
bit hard to pull the trigger and push at it.
Yeah, just because it's so close.
Okay.
That would be mine.
We've cut a little bit of limbs here. I'm just really curious how much is left on that battery, or if it took your battery down any at all. So the battery is still basically full. Okay, I feel this is going to be the real test on this little saw. This is a big peach tree, and it's been neglected and it's left grown over on the house. So what we want to do is we want to take all them limbs away from that house, so that stuff's not laying up there. That's not good. So we got some bigger limbs to cut. I think that's going to be the test. That's going to tell you whether this saw is actually going to last. It still has 4 bars on it, so hopefully we can get all them limbs away from that house. So we're going to go ahead and get started on cutting the big limbs off of this tree. Okay, so now when you're extending your pole, we noticed that there's a suction on this center pole.
Well,
not on this one as much. There's still a suction there too. So it must be kind of airtight in there. So it wants to pull itself back in. So it's a little bit tough, but it's nice to have somebody to give you a hand when you're pulling it out. You know, this kind of work is more than a one-person job anyhow. Now that right there was a 4-inch limb, at least 4 inches, and it cut it off. How'd it cut, Brian?
it actually cut it out up nice. The only problem is got to get it straight, and you can't, you know, force it.
He's telling you to cut it straight, don't force it, let it do its own job. Now I'm not so sure that this saw's made for this size wood, but you can see that's a 4-inch log. I mean, compared to my hand.
Tell you what, it chews the thing right up, honestly.
Yeah. So, what do you think so far, Brian?
Honestly, I'm pretty impressed with it, really.
You thought it wasn't going to do what it was going to do?
Yeah, because I'm used to using gas stuff, you know, and gas has a lot more power. But this thing does pretty good for a battery.
I noticed we do have to tighten the chain, periodically tighten the chain and put some oil on it. I'm one for keeping a lot of oil on stuff because, you know, that's what saves the life of it. So we got a couple more trees over here. We've already went down in front. We cut a few limbs down there. We cut a few limbs off the maple tree that was in his way, and we got a couple more little trees over here. I think we're just going to knock them out while we're here. Okay, now in the manual it says to take a brush and brush this off. It's not that filthy. We're going to go ahead and loosen our chain again. Here's what we've been doing every once in a while. We loosen the chain, then we pull the chain out till it goes up against the bottom, then we tighten it back down. Just like so. And take you some motor oil. Now they give you this little jug. You have to provide your own oil. This, you can use motor oil in this, or you can use chain and bar oil. I would use a chain and bar oil. If you don't have any, motor oil will work. And I go across the top of that, and then he'll turn that on, put the battery back in it, and that's going to roll that oil. That's going to roll the oil up around that chain real good. Okay, so we've done all that work. Hold on, let's see what we got here.
Yeah. Oh.
We've already done all that work. We cut that whole peach tree pretty much down, and this is what we got on our battery left. It's still saying 4 bars. It's a little dim on that bar and a little dim on that one, but these two here, so I'm going to say we got 2 good bars left, and we got a couple more trees to go. So this is our next culprit here. We're going to cut. These are plum trees. That was a peach tree. I planted these trees probably 30 years ago. At least 20 years ago, I planted these trees. So we're just going to kind of prune them up a little bit because they're just overbearing. They're just covering, making a mess. So we're going to cut this tree about right in here. And we're just going to leave a little tree here, clean up some of these branches. Yep. Okay, we got a puny little tree there. I'm not sure what it'll do, but it's better than cutting it completely down. All right, Brandon cannot have all the fun. I need to use this thing a little bit too to be able to see how it feels. I'm going to go ahead and trim this plum tree up. Now, you guys are probably wondering why we're trimming this now, because, you know, the plums are getting ripe. Listen, they're actually rotting on the tree. This tree is so out of whack. We're just going to try to get it down, and hopefully next year it'll be a little bit more manageable and maybe get some better fruit off of it. So I'm just going to shape this tree up a little bit around the top here. Nothing major. And we're not going to use the pole. We're just going to use the handsaw. And I got to give this thing a feel. There's just so much hanging out on this tree. It's just crazy. You can't even walk around it. So I'd like to cut that limb off too. See if we could do this. Brandon said don't cut from underneath. It didn't work that well, but I'm going to give it a try and see if I can get it to work. So if you just go real slow and don't push into it, it seems to work okay. Wow, this tree looks so different now. I tell you what, Brandon, I think I'd leave that tree like that. We got a little bit of branches up there. Hopefully next year, this thing will have some nice plums on it and not have to feed this whole tree, so it should be pretty good. Man, feel of this thing is actually pretty nice. I'm not having that much of a trouble with the trigger, but I'm kind of used to using it. What I'm doing is when I use it, I use my thumb to push this in and my finger. I use my thumb to push in and my finger. Now, if I was left-handed, I'd use my thumb over here and then pull the trigger. So I think when he was trying to put his finger across here, might have been a little bit harder. Use your thumb, push it in, pull your trigger. Works pretty good. So we did an awesome amount of work with this little saw so far, and we still have more to go. So we're going to get to cutting a little bit more. Let's go. Wow, it's just about opening up everything so it's not hitting you in the head. That don't look too bad, huh?
Yeah, you can ride the mower through here and like hit your head.
Okay, you say you got some more. Let's go over here and cut this one over here. Okay, one thing about cutting these limbs off, like a limb that's hanging way down in your yard, you don't have to cut that limb way back. You don't have to take much because the weight of the leaves on here are actually pulling that tree down. So if you take a little bit and you don't want to take a lot off, just take a little bit and watch how high this branch will spring up. You see how much higher it gets? So I don't have to take this off, I could take this. Now look, it bounced way up there. I think that looks pretty good. All right, I think we got a heck of a mess here to clean up. We're gonna do our review on this. We're gonna let you know what we thought about the saw and where you can get yourself one of these. Okay, I'm gonna go over what we had cut off the trees. We got that pile over there. We cut this huge pile over here. We have these big limbs on the ground. That's firewood. That's big enough for firewood. We have this big pile right here. There's a big pile there. There's a huge pile here. We cut all of these right here. And the first tree that we cut those right there. All right, so we did all of that with, that's what our lights look like. Let's see, right there. So we cut all of them limbs, and that's all the battery we used. I think it's amazing, the new tools that they come out with that are battery operated. Years ago, you could get nothing that would run as long as this. That was a lot of trimming. And some of them things were 4 inches round.
I mean, this here is big. That's honestly, I didn't think it would have enough power to cut through it.
No, I didn't think so either. But I was actually surprised because I brung another saw just in case this one didn't finish the job. But I had no need to get out the other saw. You guys seen it? It cut every limb on these trees. I'm saying we got 4 good trees trimmed here. Now, if I was to hire someone in to come in and do what we just did, you're probably looking at a couple $100. I mean, if they're going to remove this stuff, it could be $300, $400 to get all of this trimmed. And we did it with this little saw. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. We're going to give it a review. And I think the only thing that Brandon had to say was...
It was the button, but whenever he was explaining about using your thumb, I do think that makes sense. I just am not used to using my thumb. I just wanted to use that part.
Right.
And I think it's actually made for your thumb.
Yeah. So that was one of the issues he had. Anything else besides the suction on the pole, the suction here, it was kind of funny because he said, hey, you should do that on video because that suction is kind of hard for me to pull. And it really didn't have much suction, but you could see that it actually sucks itself back in. The further you pull it out,
see, now
it wants to stick. But it does have a little bit of suction there, so if you got somebody to help you, it works a little bit better.
But it's honestly not an issue. I mean, it's really not.
One nice thing is this thing. That turning makes a big difference. Because you're able to get some of them bigger limbs, put the limb under here and cut straight down. When you cut up like this, sometimes they want to get caught in there, but we had to use it up like this on that tree down in the front because...
You have to get a little bit more length.
Yeah, we needed a little bit more length, but it worked out. We didn't get the blade stuck or anything. The other thing is tightening the chain. If you see the chain needs tightened, just tighten it. It's not a big deal. It's only just 2 bolts. Pull the blade out. Brush it off, put a little bit of oil on it, and that's good to do periodically anyhow. Now, for those of you that are out there getting ready to go hunting, and you need to cut out that shooting lane, this tool is going to work. This, I think, is going to do really good. Yeah. We could cut out a lot of a lane with just one battery on this.
I mean, you think when you go out into the woods, you're not cutting one entire tree down.
Right.
You're cutting just
limbs.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the weight of this thing, it weighs about 7 pounds. So if it's extended out, it feels a little heavy, but it's not bad. Take a gasoline one and pull that out. You're going to be talking a lot of weight. So the battery takes about 2 hours to charge on this. I think that's what it said, about 2 hours. I'm not sure what it took because I plugged it in and walked away from it because I wasn't going to sit and watch it. What else did we want to
It
talk
said
about?
it had a 100-minute runtime, and I think that's pretty spot on. Maybe even longer.
Yeah,
You know?
because we've been out here at least 60 minutes cutting.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much fully cutting, about 60 minutes.
100 minutes, that's a lot of cutting. You
Yeah.
know, 100 minutes of cutting.
Yeah, 100 minutes. And the pole extends out about 9 feet. So if you take the height of you plus the 9 feet, you're probably talking around 14, 15 feet. You're going to be able to reach up and cut, you know, close to that. Not, yeah, it depends on, if you're real short, not going to get very high. If you're real tall, you're going to get higher than me, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, listen, we're going to leave a link in the description down below. If you guys are interested in one of these, you hunters out there and ready to cut them shooting lanes out, this might be the ticket right here, because I think this will do a great job.
I mean, in an honest review, I mean, we don't hype stuff up that's junk.
No, I'm not going to...
And honestly, I feel like this is actually worth, you know, the value of it.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'll tell you what. I had a few people on my channel. Now, listen, this was given to me. A company asked me to do a review on it. They give me the saw, and I do the honest review. One of my main things I tell everybody when they send me out a product, listen, don't send me junk because I got enough of it. And you guys know, you've been in the garage, I got a lot of junk, I don't need any more. So they'll send me this product for free to do the review. And I tell them, I'll only give them an honest review. And that's all I'm going to give you because I didn't build my channel off of lying to people. And I have some subscribers out there that do not like when I do a product review on something I didn't purchase. But you don't understand, if somebody wants to give you this saw and all you have to do is a review on it, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saving you from buying a piece of junk. This is a good saw. Like I said, if you're careful with this saw, take your time and cut with it, I think it's going to do a good job.
One thing we can't speak on is how long will it last, you know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like,
it
as far as
definitely.
you know what I mean?
So we're going to leave a link in the description down below. If you guys are interested, check it out. I think it's a good tool. What do you think? Good tool?
I honestly, I really do. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
It did what we needed it to do, and we didn't have zero
and
issues.
we still got a lot of battery left. I think he's going to be doing some more trimming. I told him, do another review, put it on his own channel. He has got his own channel. Brandon, my son here, I'll leave a link in the description if you want to check out his channel. So don't forget, look in the description. So I would like to tell everyone, thanks for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave me thumbs up, thumbs down, or a comment if you'd like. Till next time.